Where was I last in the end games? I think we just finished like 37 or 38. Yeah, we finished 38 as well. Finished 39. Yeah, and 40. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, super speed, exactly. It's 1:54 a.m. Yeah. You are correct, sir. It's almost 2 a.m. Yeah. Got another 2 hours of streaming to go. Then I'll go to bed. Well, actually, I'm not planning on going to bed. I am tired, but I still want to watch the Intel Extreme Masters StarCraft quarterfinals and finals is happening in about 3 hours' time. The Intel Extreme Masters in Pyeongchang. So I'm gonna watch that after this. So I'm gonna stream for another 2 hours, and then I have about an hour where I can chill and whatever, and then I'm gonna watch that. It's also on Twitch, of course. If you guys are interested, if you know StarCraft, know the game. If you don't know the game, check it out. It's a good game. It's also now free to play, so you can download StarCraft for free now. Okay, so let's try and explain this, right? Yeah, the Nerd Olympics. Exactly, bro. Come on. And StarCraft is going to be in the Winter Olympics. So, you can laugh all you want, but esports is starting to make its way into the Olympics. And that's good for chess. Note, nerd alert. That's good for chess, of course, because if we can own our skills and get it right, we can get chess into the Olympics as well. Okay. So. Now I have to explain something. Okay? And I am going to do a little bit better from a production point of view in the future. So I apologize that I haven't been doing that yet. I am working a lot on being able to do quite a bit more from a production point of view. Okay? So that's something obviously that we don't do in chess yet, but I am planning on changing that. Okay. So I need to explain a rule for you. It is called the bars rule. Okay. BAHR rule. Okay. Bars rule. There, I type it in the chat as well. Okay. Bars rule states the following. When we have side pawns, okay, H or A file pawns, and white has an extra pawn, obviously, versus the king and the king. Okay. Then, first of all, bars rule depends on where the pawns are. If they are stuck in the middle, like this, perfect. Then bars rule basically just states that the quickest and easiest way to see whether white's winning or not winning is to use bars rule. Now, bars rule just says, take his pawn, draw a line, okay, and draw a line that would intersect with your pawn as well. So here, that would be the intersection square, okay? If your pawn was in front of this, so anywhere here, here, anywhere like that, because of bars rule, whoops, then you would not be winning. Okay, interesting, isn't it? So if your pawn is in front of the intersection, in other words, in front of it, then you would not be winning as white. Okay. If, however, your pawn is on or behind the intersection line, okay, then you would be winning. Why? Because it's all about how long it will take him to get his king to take your pawn, and whether you can take and get your king to this square to help your pawn. No. It's not losing, of course. It's either a draw or a win for white. The question is just whether white can win or not. Yeah, exactly. It's on the line, so we are good here as white. So a simple example is just we can abandon the pawn and just go for the pawn. So here, king goes, here, takes, here, king comes closer, we take, king goes here, and we block. King goes up, and we block. Okay, and now boom, 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 boom. Nice and simple. Okay. Avalanche, I'm saying, let me just try and explain this again, right? So if we have side pawns and they are blocking each other like this, okay, we know how hard it can be to win with a rook pawn, because if you cannot get your king here, then you will not be able to support the pawn all the way through. So Barr's rule just tries to make it simple for you to see how, okay, you can quickly calculate whether you are winning or not without brute force. Okay, so all you do is you draw a line backwards from his pawn, and you see where your pawn intersects. Okay, so if your pawn, this is the intersection. If your pawn is on the diagonal or behind it, so anywhere here, then you are already winning. If it is in front of the dissection, here or here or here, then you're not winning. Scary enough. So I'll show you an example. F5. So let's look at an example, right? Now king goes here. Sorry, let me just get the right variation. King goes to F4. Oh my word, I have two F5s. There. Is it correct now? Why does it not want to go forward? Damn it. That one. Oh, fudge king. King F4. Note that if you go immediately for the pawn, you're too slow. And that's it. Now, of course, you cannot get control over the square, so it's a draw. Okay. And now, as another example, F5, king goes here, king F4, okay, king F7, king E5, king E7, and now, here, watch it, there, takes here, yes, of course, but you need to find the intersection, right? It has to be connected to the intersection. Okay. Yeah, exactly, ZFox, exactly. It changes. I am going to use other examples as well. I'm just showing in this specific case, we had the intersection, which was obviously here. Of course, if the pawn is here, the intersection changes as well. The pawn is here, it changes as well. Okay.
The force will be with you.
Kai, thanks for the follow, Kai. So, okay, and now you can see that he can prevent you from getting your king to the square. Hi, Bujanim. So now, of course, if you cannot get your king to the square, then you cannot protect the pawn. Sorry, the pawn all the way through. Okay, if you go here, he just blocks you in now. And we know how this ends up being a draw. Stalemate. Okay. So, yeah, so if the pawn, in this specific case, of course, the pawn was in the right place in our intersection. It was okay because the pawn, right? But when the pawn changes position, it becomes different. Yeah, exactly, ZFox, exactly. Chesky, it happens when if for 2 weeks you don't stream, then yeah, then you don't become a partner, of course. I had to restart everything, Chesky, but it's okay. Doing quite well, so it's fine. Okay, let me show you the next example now, because of course I have a couple of them set up. Okay, so here's another setup, just so you can show it. Okay, so now we look at the intersection again, and we can see, hey, wait a minute. Our pawn now is doing this. So this is the intersection point. But, okay. Hello, Estashen. Got here. Could you possibly explain what you mean intersection once again? Sorry if I make it. No, it's okay. It's okay. So the rule only applies to the following situation. Estashen, the rule only applies to the following situation. When we have a rook pawn, we know that the only way to win with a king and pawn with a rook pawn is if we can get our king to this square so that we can defend the pawn to go all the way through. Okay? So in order for us to use Barr's rule, we need to, first of all, have the pawns stuck. Okay, they need to be stuck in front of each other. Okay, and then all we want to do is we want to draw a line from their pawn diagonally backwards, and we want to see where our pawn intersects with this diagonal, with this exact diagonal. If it doesn't, like let's say your pawn was here, then of course this would be the intersection, right, with the pawn. If it's behind the intersection, then it's okay, then you still win. Okay, but if it is in front of the intersection, so in this case the intersection changed because your pawn is on a different file. Okay, if your pawn was here, I'm going to use multiple examples anyway. Okay, so we draw the line backwards and we see where the pawn is. Okay, if the pawn is here, 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 pretty much anywhere here. Okay, sorry, just for that pawn, of course. Anywhere behind the line here, then of course you are still winning. But if the pawn was in front of the line, which is now here, if the pawn was here, then it wouldn't be winning anymore for white. It would just be a draw. Okay, but now in this example again, we can just run for the king, for the pawn immediately. King goes here, we take, he takes, we take, king, there, takes, there, there. And if he tried differently, by the way, if he went here, king, note the problem, because I wanted you to see this. So Barr's rule doesn't apply. This is what I wanted to show you exactly, ZFox, because you wanted to understand about what happens if the pawn changes. Okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Okay, would your pawn always be on the intersection line? No, of course not, Rin. This is the whole point. Okay, now I wanted you to see that this actually is a draw as well. Okay, so here's the key for you to understand. Exactly. It bends at the bishop file. So this is what you want to look at. You only want to look at these two files. Okay, it bends. You never play for this file. So the key is that you draw the line backwards to your closest bishop file, C or F, depending on which pawn you had. If your pawn was here, it would obviously be here. So the rule has an extra clause, ZFox. This is also for you, okay, because you wanted to know if the intersection changes. No. And I wanted to show you why it doesn't change, okay? It doesn't change. So the intersection always only goes as far as this square. Okay. Only. So if your pawn is anywhere in front of this line, as it is right now, then it's still only a draw. Okay. So ZFox, there is an extra clause here. You never draw the line all the way to here. Never. Because it doesn't matter. The reason is that his king can get back to this square. Okay, I'm going to use more examples as well. So you only draw the line, exactly, the bend, like Lord Kinboto says here, the line stops basically at the bishop file, depending on which side of the board you are. So basically you just draw the line like this. That's it. There's your line. If the pawn is behind the line, here, anywhere, whatever, then you're winning. If the pawn is in front of the line, bloop, bloop, pawn is in front of the line, then you're not winning. Then it's only drawn. Okay. So that's it. So basically, all you want to know really is just draw the thing to the bishop file and then draw the line back that way. And if the pawn is in front of the line, it's a draw. If the pawn is behind the line or on the line, it is winning. That's it. That is the whole thing. Just slightly better placed. But I wanted to show you why it doesn't work in other places. Okay. Cool, Max V. yeah, I will enjoy the StarCraft later, don't worry. So if your pawn is in front of the line, you draw. Yes, because the king can capture the passer and get back in time to control b7. Exactly, Estashin. Correct. Very, very correct. Okay. We're gonna look at multiple options, ZFox, I promise you. But Estashin, that is correct. Okay, so if the pawn is in front of this intersection, then the king will be able to take the pawn and get back to protect this square. Okay, excellent. Now I'm going to show you another example. Now we put the king over here. Okay, here, here. If the A pawns are pushed differently, then it's a complete different story. Okay, Z-Fox, Barr's rule only applies to pawns that are stuck in the middle of the board. Okay, if the pawns are, let's say, here and here, then it's almost always a win because, of course, you take the pawn, you immediately go here. Okay. Yes, Avalanche, exactly. So that is why I wanted to just go around it a little bit, but it's correct. Okay, so yes, as you say, the intersection just intersects with the bishop file, either F or C, depending on which side of the board you're playing. Okay, but Barr's rule only applies to pawns that are stuck in the middle, on the 4th and 5th ranks. It's the only time Barr's rule applies. If the pawns were white and black here, then it would be much harder to win, of course, because, you know, the king will always be able to, after takes, be able to get back to the square. Okay? So now, yeah, so Z-Fox, if this was down here, it would be a win, right? Because you would be on the line and not in front of it. Okay, so let me just show you an example. King goes here, king, king. That's bad, of course, because now you win, but he could have gone here. Ching, ching. Okay. And after takes, king here, king here, king here. So you see the problem. He's always capable of coming back to the c8 square here. Okay. And that is why it is a draw. But if the pawn was here, then of course, if I go here, you'd have to go much further down. So you get back. Let's make all of these blue just so that we can see that that's black's move. Here, 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 here. There we go. Simple. Game over. Okay. But because the pawn is unfortunately in front of the line, it is a draw. Okay. And it doesn't matter if you go here and king goes here and king goes here and here. Makes no difference. It's going to be the same result. Because the king is capable of getting to c8. And defend the square. That's it. Okay. I'll show you the next example. Here we switch sides. Now we've flipped it around, right? Le Melier. When that scenario plays out, white should play king a7, preventing black from getting his king in the corner. No, but I mean, king a7 doesn't matter, Lemire. Okay, let me show you just what happens there, Lemire, just because you asked about it. Sorry, let me go back. It's not the one I wanted. Here, is it this one? Yeah, so this is fine, right? Let me just get the right variation. Wait, what did I just do here? Oh, that's an easier one. What did I do? Did I get the wrong puzzles here? Oh, there it is. Okay. My bad. I clicked on the wrong one. Le Milieu, if you go king a7, he can just block you in. Okay. Because he's got control over the squares. Okay, Le Milieu. Le Milieu de toi. De tous. De tout. So now if you put your king forward, as long as black can control this square, he's going to be okay. Pawn push here. Now, of course, your king can't get here. Pawn push here. And you go king here, I go king here. You go king here, I go king here. You go pawn push, I go king here, and stalemate. Okay, so that's what happens, Lemelia. So it doesn't matter if he plays king a7. Okay, because you just trap him in with your king, controlling this square from these two squares. Okay, cool. Let me show you the next one. So here's one where we are a little bit closer, right? So again, Barr's rule applies because we have pawns that are in the middle of the board on the 4th and 5th rank. Okay? And now we have to draw the line. So the line goes backwards, but of course we never go past the pawn, past the bishop file. So there, and then we draw the pawn back, and we can see that the pawn is on the line, which means that it's a win. So we'll look at it. King goes f5, king goes here, king goes here, we take, king goes here, king here, 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 here. And that is it. It doesn't matter, Z-Fox. There's never any situation where you can actually get the king. You can never get the white king out, or you can never stop the black king in. Okay. In this situation, just so you guys understand, it doesn't particularly matter. Okay. If he goes king here, it doesn't matter. Then you can get your king in front of the pawn, and he can never kick you out of these two squares. And if he doesn't, then of course your king, his king can never get out then if he doesn't. So whenever he goes here, you go in here. And if he doesn't ever go in here, then your king just stays here because he can't get out. Okay, that's it. Okay, so this was a simple one. Very easy one as well. We realize that we draw the line to the bishop file. And we draw the line back to and see where his pawn is. The pawn is on the line and not in front of it. So it's a win. You can just go for the pawn and win. I think there's one more example here. Yeah, so here's another example. And this one was interesting for me, Z-Fox, because you wanted to know about the pawns. Okay, but because the pawns are so much further and this is the square you want to get to, you're always going to be able to take and go king here immediately. So it's a very easy win. You don't even have to calculate it because he's just too far. You can never get, he's never close enough. Okay. So if the pawn is on a6 instead, then it's pretty much always a win. You can always just decoy your pawn. It doesn't matter where your pawn is, by the way. Estashin, there's a lot of stuff here, dude. There are a lot of rules. Now, of course, these are just with pawn games. Lemelier, these are not complicated. They're not complicated endgames, Lemelier. If you have watched the first 5, or I don't know how many episodes I've had so far, if you watch the first 5 or 6 episodes of the beginner endgame stuff that I have been doing, then this is not hard. Okay. It's just a cool rule, just so you can learn from it, you know what I mean? There are quite a lot of different rules that you can apply, Estashin. But it is quite hard to find. Yeah, that's me, Serbian. You know it. You know it. Walter White, right? I got this, boys. I got this. Don't mess with me. Just don't think you can buy any drugs from me, okay, guys? I'm sorry. I don't have drugs. Drugs are bad. Okay, kids? Okay. Mr. Mackey says drugs are bad. Don't do drugs. And don't do draws either. Draws are bad. Okay? Okay. Yeah, I know, Lord Kinbert. Everybody says I should shave my head, but I don't wanna. I want my hair. I like hair. Okay, cool. So, let me just see if the next one was also a... Yeah, so here's another example. Z-Fox, another example. Because the pawn is here, right? It doesn't matter. We don't have to look at pretty much anything. Estashin... there are books and stuff that have them in. Oh crap, I did. You're right, Avalanche. Thank you. Thanks, Avalanche. There. Sorry. Bars rule. B-A-H-R bars rule. There you go. Bars rule. Estashin, I mean, there are quite a lot of good endgame books that you can hunt down. I can't think of the top of my head right now, but there's a lot of good endgame books that you can hunt down that you will find all these little tidbits in. Okay. Yes, Big Reno. Yes, the line is always drawn on the bishop square. But again, Barr's rule only applies for pawns that are stuck on the 5th and 4th rank. Okay. Like in this case, it doesn't matter because we can just go. Okay. Now nothing applies here because of course his king is just way too far. Okay. So because the pawns now are moved up, it's a complete different ball game. You're pretty much always winning in these situations. Almost always. I think I have more examples. No, unfortunately, that was the last one. Okay. But yeah, as soon as the pawns are on the 5th and 6th rank, it's completely different. You can always just abandon and go take the pawn. It's much easier to do. Okay, so Barr's rule only applies to pawns that are on the 5th and 4th rank. And then, yes, you always draw the line to the bishop and then draw the line backwards as well. And then you look at where the pawn is. If he's on top of or behind the line, it's winning. If he's in front of the line or above the line, then it's only a draw. Okay. I will probably do some revision, by the way. Don't worry. Yeah, yeah, I do. I like StarCraft, Serbian. I was telling everybody now that after I'm done with the streaming tonight, I'm going to watch the Intel Extreme Masters finals for StarCraft. I am still rooting for Scarlet. I hope she does well. She is in the semifinals, but of course it is going to be very, very hard. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to move on, by the way. Still have a couple of positions left, so don't go anywhere, boys and girls. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so now we're going to do our last topic for basic pawn endgames. Okay, our last topic involves fortresses. Okay, a fortress in an endgame like this is basically a position where you cannot enter into. Okay. And most of the time, it's a problem because there's stalemate ideas. That is what a fortress basically does. Okay, there's multiple cool fortress ideas. Le Melure, it doesn't help you to push it. Sorry, let me just go back. I just want to show you an example. Le Melure, let me show you an example. Right? Let's do this. Do a typical example, right? Now you're pushing your pawn, you're feeling happy about life, pawn is getting closer to the end. Oh baby, yeah. But now, what now? Because now if you play here, it's stalemate. I can't move my pawn, and of course I can't move my king anywhere. Okay, and if you now abandon, it's still the same drawing problem. Now it's actually a draw. Okay, so that would be bad. And the same applies to the other variations as well. Where the king and pawns are more down, like here, like this example, right? So if you do this, then the same problem occurs where you end up either having to stalemate, or if you go for the pawn, you are now too far away from controlling this square, which is what is required in order to be able to protect your pawn. Okay, so that is why you will always be looking for the opportunity to abandon your pawn so you can get this pawn, and then you get your king here so you can protect the pawn when you are there. Okay, that's the idea. That's why Barr's rule is important here, to see whether you are within the square. This, even if I wanted to do, if I could have drawn a square to like C -0 here, or C0, then this would have been a square, right? I would have been able to draw a little, or a rectangle. So that's the point. So you want to know whether you can abandon your pawn and be able to get to the golden square here so that you can protect the pawn. That's it. That's why Barr's rule exists. Okay, so yeah, so let me get back to a fortress, right? So a fortress is a position where you cannot get into. Of course, Rin, if the pawns are locked in the center, it's a complete different endgame, okay? We've done that before. If you, obviously, you're new to the channel, Rin, I know that you followed recently. You can go and check out the previous videos on the YouTube channel, okay? I screwed up the YouTube channel. Actually, you know what? Just give me a quick second and I'll fix that. I think. Just give me a quick second and I'll fix that. The YouTube channel problem. Give me a moment. Just a moment, please. And I will fix the YouTube channel problem. No problem. No problem. I am here to answer questions, okay? That's my job. I love it. I love you guys. So if you have a question, just ask. Okay, let me just edit this YouTube one because somehow it's screwed up. Oh, wait a minute. Why is... Oh, I see. There's a second layer here. Edit. Let me just fix this. But there is a... Oh, I see. It keeps on doing this, which is stupid, but okay. There. Submit. Okay, now try it. There you go. YouTube. Exclamation mark YouTube. Okay, why is it still doing that though? Fudge cake, come on, man. Okay, maybe I need to... I'm gonna double enter you then. Good lord. Does that help? Okay, it does. Oh, maybe I just have to put a space in, huh? That's weird. You can't use enter. I have to use spacebar. Alright. Is that better? Are you over yourself now? There you go. Okay, sorry. Let me try that again. There you go. So there you go. There's the YouTube channel, boys and girls. So if you missed any of these lessons, you will see that they all follow on top of each other. It's a whole course. Okay. It's a whole course. Estashin, I generally, the studies I make available after I'm done. Okay, Estashin, just so you know. Generally, after I am done with the actual lesson, the video, then I make them available, okay? Okay, Lord Kinbote, I love you, sleep well. Okay, so let me get back to fortresses, right? Moopy Pie Loopy, I love that name. It's just my favorite name, I think. Moopy Pie Loopy. I want to sing you a song every time I see that name. It's the Moopy Pie. It's the Moopy Pie Loopy Pie. Hey, hey. I don't know. You're gonna have to write it and I'll sing it. How's that? Okay, Moopy Pie Loopy. We need a theme song for you. Okay. So every time you come online, we sing your theme song. Okay, so create a theme song and I'll sing it. How's that? How's that for a deal? Okay, so here you can see the pawn wants to get here. Okay, and of course, if we could win the pawn, it would be fantastic because, you know, we would hopefully get here and then voila, somehow magically win. But we cannot get in here, okay? Like, let's say we go here, he goes here, and now we can't go forward because it's a draw. Stalemate. Oops. Okay. So this is a typical fortress. Like, you go here, I go here, because now you can't go closer because it's stalemate.
The Force will be with you.
P.A. Buttle. Pabuddle. He's a pabuddle. Or is he a P.A. butt? Le. It's like a P.A. but the. I don't really know. It's always stalemate, see, Fox. Yeah, exactly. It's always stalemate. So this is what a typical fortress looks like, okay? The king can just go hide in the corner because you can't get any closer because it'll be stalemate. Okay, so that's what a typical... Why is my ear hurting? Fortress looks like, okay? Now, there's multiple different ways of how fortresses work. So check out the next option, okay? Because now we add a pawn to the mix. Okay. Now, remember, if you remember all the way back in our lessons, okay, I think it was like lesson 1 or maybe lesson 2, probably lesson 2, then you will remember that with these situations, what we most of the time want to do is we want to sacrifice this pawn so that we can get in, win this pawn, and then promote this guy. But here, it doesn't work because it's the same stalemate problem. Okay. So now if you go, let's say king f5, I go here. Because you again cannot go forward because it's stalemate. So if you go here, it's stalemate. If you go here, it's stalemate. Okay. And this is the problem, you know. It doesn't really matter what you do. You go here, I go here. You go here, I go here. You go here, I go here. You try and run around, that's stalemate. You go here, I just go king f7. And if ever you sacrifice your pawn, I take it, and of course now I have a different fortress again. So I'm still just trapped in here. You go anywhere, it's stalemate. Sucks to be white right now, right? So yeah, so that's also a very cute little fortress position. It looks like white should be winning, but he's not. Okay. These are going much faster than I had anticipated. It's okay. I think the middle game lesson will probably take me quite a bit longer. So if we're done here, I'm going to immediately move on to the middle game lesson as well. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to show you another example of a fortress. Here we have the pawn still here, which is very, very interesting. Okay, the biggest issue is that again, you can never go close with your king, right? And I can ignore this pawn forever. Okay, forever. Because if it gets here, it doesn't matter. If it takes here, I take, it doesn't matter. It's still a draw. So I can just ignore this pawn. You can't actually win with white here. Because I can just run into the corner and you can't get any closer because it's stalemate. And this pawn doesn't do anything because I can just ignore it forever. So let's use an example. Okay, let's go pawn, 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 pawn. I could even take, of course, if I really wanted to. It's still a draw. Hey, turkey farm. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you. How are you, turkey farm? Long time no see, bro. And it's not your fault. I promise it was my fault, okay? But I have solved the internet problems and I am now streaming all on my lonesome, okay? So I am now completely able to stream on my lonesome. I don't need nobody else, yo. I don't need nobody. So, you know, I am finally streaming a lot, of course. Currently busy just racking up some money so I can buy a new PC. I have one in mind. So, yeah. So here, of course, we could just take it. Because now if you go here, I go here. It doesn't matter because you have a side pawn. So even if you win the pawn, makes no difference. Okay. I am very good, turkey farm. Very, very good, actually. I moved to the big city. Because obviously it was the only way to solve the internet problem. Different internet, a beautiful time. I get to change. Now I can stream when I want to, you know. So I had to move. Very, very sad, but it's okay. I don't particularly like the big city, but you know what? It has to be done, right? How's your theme song coming, Moopy by Loopy? I'm waiting for my theme song. I want to sing it. Okay, so yeah, so this is another very, very nice fortress idea for black here. Because he can just hide in the corner because you can never come close with your king. And this pawn he can just ignore or take whenever you get here. Doesn't matter. Makes no difference. So it's just a draw. It's very sad, but it's just a draw. Okay. Hello there, Summit. Thank you, Soltigo. So yeah, I want to play with you. Soltigo, Summit, I am playing. If you check out the schedule, if you're in Twitch right now, if you're not in Twitch, do me a big favor, click on the link at the bottom of the Lee Chess video that says twitch.tv/chess doctors. Click on that, give me a follow on Twitch, and then you will be able to check out the schedule. And in the schedule, you'll see that I will be playing viewers tomorrow for a couple hours, okay? But I will also still update the schedule for the rest of the week as well, so you can see when I am playing against viewers, okay? Yeah, Avalanche, I teach full-time, yeah. Yes, I do. I coach chess full-time, and of course I stream. I would like to do a lot more streaming at some point. If it gets big enough, of course, then I would like to just do streaming. Okay, so next one. There you go. Thanks, Amit.
The Force will be with you. Always.
Thank you so much for the follow there, Amit. Okay, so here's another example. So we moved the pawns from the rook file to the knight file. Okay, but it's still a draw. Okay, it's this peculiar situation because, of course, the king has nowhere to go out after it goes into the corner. So, like, let's say you go here, I just go in the corner because you can't go here because it's stalemate. So it's the same problem. You can go all the way out there. Okay, you have to be careful as well, I guess, because I can go here. Like, if you go all too far, then I actually win. Okay, that would be disastrous. So yeah, but white cannot win because the king can just go ahead here and you can never come close because it would be stalemate. Okay, so that's another example, and here is a nice little finishing example of the extra pawn.
The Force will be with you, always.
Sensei Monte Cristo! Thanks for the follow, Sensei Monte Cristo, and welcome to the show. I know a lot of you guys don't actually, chat in the chat. I know you guys are still watching. I love it. Thank you so much. Mar! Throwing a little bit of a cheer there. Did it update? Because I always wonder about this crap. Huh. I wonder how long it takes to update. Because I've been interested in seeing whether this thing works for the cheering. Hello, Estashen with a little subscription there. Thank you so much, Estashen. So one of the bonus things now, of course, Estashen, if you are, being a subscriber, there you go. It did do the thing more. So there you go. It did update. Perfect. One of the subscriber benefits, of course, Estashen, is that when I do play against viewers, subs do get preference. So I always play against subs first, and the same with the viewer game analysis as well. Subscribers, their games do get pushed to the top of the pile. And then also, maybe I shouldn't reveal this yet, but I'm going to do it anyway. Fetil or Fetty, thank you for the follow. Greetings, Fetty. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for the follow, man, and welcome to the show. So yeah, as I was saying, Estashen, so subs, I am going to introduce a new show where I will be playing Hand and Brain, and I will invite a sub to join me. Okay? So, so subs will be able to join me on the show for an hour or an hour and a half of Hand and Brain. For those of you who don't know what Hand and Brain is, basically you have two players. The one person plays the actual moves with his hand, and the other person is the brain. But the brain is only allowed to tell the hand what type of piece he wants to move. Like if I say pawn, then the hand can choose any pawn on the board. Okay? If I say bishop, then the hand can pick any bishop. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Estashen. I am very happy. That is the goal, Estashen. The goal is for you guys to learn from me. Okay, this is basically free coaching. I want you guys to be, just learn. Okay. you just want to hear Mr. Mackey? Don't do drugs, okay, kids? Okay, Mr. Mackey in the house. You just want to hear me do the whole Mackey, huh? Got to do a whole Mr. Mackey plan here, okay? Mr. Mackey says that this is going to be a draw, okay, kids? Okay. Because Mr. Mackey says that the king is stuck in the corner. Okay. When are you planning to implement Hand and Brain? Estashen, I will do the first session on Sunday. I already have a sub that will join me for that. But on Sunday evening, I will do the first Hand and Brain with a sub. So yeah. Sounds okay. Okay. You kind of like that, don't you? Okay, Mr. Moopy Pie Loopy. It's like a real Moopy Pie Loopy. Actually, you know what, Moopy Pie Loopy? If you give me a theme song, I'll sing it for you in the Mr. Mackey voice. Okay. Hey, Domdy, what's up? So, yeah. Fortress is bad. Okay. Fortress is really bad. Don't get yourself caught in a fortress. Okay. Yeah, so here we have another situation, right? And the big problem happens where you, at best for white here, right, he gets to this situation, but he can almost never take here because we just take back and it's a draw. And if he pushes past, we go here and it's a draw as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you some examples. Let's say h4, king goes here, h5, king goes here, h4, h6 I mean. Okay, now we could probably just take as well, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. The thing is, we could just play here. But why we wouldn't play there? Because now we can play here. Because if we take, he goes here. Okay. So, when we take here, he goes here. Let's see if you guys can get it. He goes here. Of course, now, Rapper's Delight. Put it in a bowl, baby. Stir it with a wooden spoon. Mix in a cup of flour. You'll be in heaven soon. Say everybody, have you seen my balls? They're big and salty and brown. If you haven't had a quick, pick me up. Put my balls in your mouth. Ooh, suck on my chocolate salty balls. Put them in your mouth and suck them. Huh? Come on, South Park, baby. Do a little chef for you. Oh, yes, baby. So again, if you wondered whether I'm crazy, the answer is obviously yes. Yeah, so this is a draw, of course, because now you go here, I go here, you take it, I go here, and it's a draw. Because you cannot get 2 out of the 3 rules. Oh, wait, which song is this now? Now I'm listening. I said a hip-hop hippie. Wait, okay. I said a hip-hop. Okay. Moopy Pie Loopy, you like that? You like my chocolate salty ball song? I can sing, bro. I can sing, boys. Okay, I said a hip hop, a hippity hop, the hip hop. And if you don't stop, I rock it. My word, it's too fast for me, man. I have to learn that properly before I could do it correct, guys. Okay. So yeah, so whenever the pawn gets to h6, you can basically just take it. Okay. So if the pawn gets to h6, you can basically just take the pawn because, of course, then you will not have a winning king and pawn versus king endgame. Okay. If he tries to change the order here, it doesn't really matter. It makes no bloody difference. Goes here. We just go here now. That's the big difference here. Because now, of course, if he goes here, we just trap ourselves. That's Rapper's Delight. Okay. A booby to the rhythm of the boogie, the beat. Okay. I'm gonna have to do that properly, Saltigo. I'm gonna have to prepare that for you. Okay, I'll prepare it for you, my buddy. Prepare it for you. But I love the chef song is great. Chocolate Salty Ball is a fantastic song, man. Love that song. Put it in a bowl, baby. Stir it with a wooden spoon. Mix in a cup of flour. Love that. Oops, sorry, Stuff Pink Al. What were you trying to post, Stuff Pink Al? Because of course Nightbot stops all kinds of different links. Only certain things are allowed. You know, certain chess websites are allowed. That's all. Okay, so that is that for fortresses. Okay. Fortress is not very complicated. It's just so that you understand the idea that sometimes you can go and hide behind. Oh, okay, I see. Thanks, Stuff Pinkal. But I'll just go look it up as well, Stuff Pinkal. So don't worry about it. I will definitely go look it up. I promise you. Okay, so that was that for fortresses, and that was also that for the beginner guide to pawn endgames. Okay, some of it was maybe a bit complicated still. I kind of went a little bit overboard here and there with the beginner guide to pawn endgames. Excuse, sorry, but yeah, that is, I think, 6 lessons, 6 or 7 lessons in total for all the basic endgames. Of course, I'm going to move on to or basic pawn endgames at least. I am going to start with basic rook endgames next. Okay. So when you see me do endgames next, it's going to be rook endgames. I want to see the new 50 Shades movie just for the hot main guy character. It's okay, Stuff Pinkal. You know, it's okay. I mean, if you're gay, it's cool. And if you're not gay and you just think the guy's cool, then that's also fine. I have no issue in telling you when I think a guy is hot. Okay. Avalanche, what do you mean with queen rook endgames? You mean queen versus rook? Or you mean queen and rooks? Because that's very advanced. That is very, very advanced. And stuffed pink L. Oh, if you're a girl, then what's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that, stuffed pink L. Nothing wrong with that, baby girl. Okay? If he hot, young lady, then he hot. Then you go watch it because he's hot. Okay? She's girl, yeah. She's a girl. Avalanche, there's a lot of Queen versus Rook books that you can check out. Okay. Check to the king. What's up? What's up, yo? What's up? What's up, my yo? You know what? Stuff Pink Owl might actually be a girl, guys. For lack of anything else, she has been on the channel for quite some time, and just from the way she talks and stuff, she could be a girl. Avalanche. Okay. Okay. Maybe I'll do something like that then, Avalanche. Okay. I could probably sneak in something like that. Egged! What's up? Hey, Egg ID. Or Egged. He's just egged. Okay, I'm going to change over to the middle games now. Okay, the